Welcome. We're back.
We're back.
After 2 weeks. Just a dog and his toys.
Yeah.
Just a dog in his toy basket. Pick one, please. Not the basket, though.
It's the basket.
Scooby, leave the basket alone. Damn it.
Oh, he's got it.
Oh, boy. Did you see my thumb?
Oh, nice. That's from when you smashed it?
Mm-hmm. This is not interesting for you guys at all because you can't see it. I'm not going to show you.
Insert picture.
But I thought it was... I thought it was growing a fungus.
And then you remembered you smashed it.
No, I always remember.
Oh, okay.
I remember all the time I smashed
Your
it.
nail's really long.
I know, I had dip on, and I took it off, and then I found the green. We're up on Apple Podcasts and Spotify now.
I do like this when they pointed.
Subscribe. So,
Okay.
we were talking about my thumb,
Oh, yeah.
but we don't have to talk about it anymore. I'm just saying that's where we were.
Okay.
Oh, subscribe.
Yeah.
Oh, I know what I was saying. Leave reviews. Lucky you just rearranged. Leave reviews and rate. I think that's what you do on podcasts.
Yeah, I think
so. Is that it?
Yeah, I think so.
Like you, yeah. And of course, follow or subscribe, whatever it is, on each.
Yeah.
And on YouTube, make sure you subscribe, comment, like, whatever. Push us up in the algorithm so that more than just y'all listen to us.
Yeah, that'd be great.
I'd love to be like national.
Well, I'd love to be.
At least statewide.
I'd love to be international.
Well, me too, but I don't want to think that big right now.
I'd love to be
global.
Wait, no, that'd be the same as international, right?
Yes, I would like to be universal.
Well, that's still
No, the universe. Is all the planets and
Yeah.
whoever else is out there.
We'd love to be extraterrestrial.
Hell yeah.
Extraterrestrial.
Yeah. Yep.
I like how your glasses, I can see
100 lights. Yeah, same. I can see them in yours.
Okay,
Anyways. We
anyway.
got them cheap lenses.
Oh, don't be telling me
I
that mine
know.
are cheap. Because
I got them free lenses.
Because the frames are cheap, but these lenses... Lens. These lens. These lens.
Oh, God. All right. Anything else?
These lenses.
Lenses.
That's the point.
Hey.
That's
Speaking of, cut this out, Courtney. Anyway, so you don't know about that. You can begin again.
like
why
how
would you?
about you just fucking smoke weed? I'm sorry.
Like,
when
why do
did
we gotta dab?
When did
Yeah.
it become a science experiment?
This is the only dab I'll ever do.
Just smoke for crying out fucking loud.
I'm done. Yeah, I wish I could. I wish I didn't have an asthma attack every time I fucking inhaled anything, like even a campfire.
You're out there.
Yeah.
A candy
Fucking-
cigarette.
Yeah. Just like the dust off a chalkboard and just done. I've been watching... What do I watch? Well, we just busted through 2 seasons on... we watched Servant and...
Mm-hmm.
Oh, we've been watching Ted Lasso, which is on Apple TV, and it's very funny. Very funny. I like it a lot.
Basically, I just watched JoJo Siwa and...
Have you watched anything good?
You'll be proud of me. I've been watching Grey's Anatomy.
Oh,
Like,
are you caught up?
Well, I could have been. I'm actually only like one season behind.
Oh.
But what I did was, instead of just going and watching that season, I actually went back to like season 14,
So you
13.
understood.
So now I'm like just watching all the shit I've already seen. But it makes me happy. So.
I'm only 1 episode behind. Well, I'm actually like
Oh.
45 minutes behind. I never finished because I cried on the couch last night. Just,
I don't think so. I don't think I've been watching really anything on YouTube. I've really just been watching Grey's Anatomy every chance I get.
You gotta. I mean, that's hard to catch up on.
Grey's Anatomy, though, man, is so... Well, first of all, it's a great TV show. Like, first and foremost, we all studied and graduated from Grey Sloan.
Absolutely.
Well,
I'm a surgeon.
Yeah, we are surgeons. Anyways, it's a teaching hospital.
It's a teaching show.
I could for sure do a fucking...
Lap Coley.
Charge $300. Push one of Effie.
Push one of Effie. You don't even know what you're saying.
That's all they. That's actually all they do is push one of Effie.
I know. I think that they only do that. Only
Have you watched those things that are like surgeons react to Grey's Anatomy? Mm-hmm. It's kind of funny because some of it is actually like.
Yeah.
I mean, they obviously have to have like a doctor on set. Like they can't just make.
Yeah.
You can't just make it up like fully.
I mean, if that's crazy, that's someone's job. They're like, I'm gonna get into the medical field. They're like, but I'm gonna be a consultant on a TV show.
Yeah. A very successful TV show.
Yeah.
But anyways, Grey's Anatomy is a really good show, but it is emotional.
Oh yeah, you can't watch an episode of Grey's Anatomy and not cry, or at least feel some
and
type of
actually like cry. Mm-hmm. Like I remember.
Yeah, like Poussey dying cry.
Yeah,
like,
when I was pregnant
on the floor.
When I was pregnant and I was watching it, Clinton like would get mad. He was like, "You have to stop watching that." Like he was like, "You're crying too much." And then, last night I was watching it and I was sitting at a TV stand with this on the edge of the couch watching it, and he kept looking over at me. I said, Grey's Anatomy.
Yeah. I do the same thing, but I cry at least once a day. TV shows or life, it doesn't matter.
Once a day? That's not a lot.
I think I said this last time, but like my clients will make me cry, and I have to like turn around. I'm like,
why do they make you cry?
They just say fun, cute things.
Shut the fuck up! I never cried because I'm cute.
Not at all.
But also, fuck Alex Karev.
Yeah.
How about you could have just left the show normally?
Do you know what happened?
Yeah.
No, not in the show. I mean, in real life.
Oh, I think so, but I think I forgot.
Something about his contract was up.
Yes,
and they said we can do it now, and he said, sorry, no, I'm not available. And so they were like, all right, I guess we're just writing you off the show.
Yeah, that's crazy. And then they just had to like make it about Izzy again.
But never show Izzy again, like.
Also, that was so mean. Like, you're just gonna leave your wife. Joe?
It made no sense, but what are you gonna do?
Right. Anyways.
Right now, things are very boring.
In Grey's Anatomy.
Yeah. That's for our Grey's Anatomy podcast.
Yeah. Start back from season 1, episode 1.
That would be a good podcast.
Watch it together, and you can just.
Actually, we're quitting this one. This is now turned into Grace Alone. It's a teaching hospital.
Go lay down.
Okay.
And just film yourself watching and see how many times you cry. You'd cry.
That might be a drinking game.
I don't drink, so. Sorry.
You drink water.
You can just
get demonetized on YouTube if you show yourself drinking. You see Clementine?
No.
Oh, shoot. I was going to be like, we got them all. So we got
So
we say so and okay a lot.
I say like a lot.
We need to keep it down. We need to keep the okays and so's just like to a minimum.
It won't happen.
I know. Okay. Every time I have to cut and start again.
Rory does it.
Okay.
Rory does it too. Okay,
okay
so. Okay, so.
All right.
I
said it like that.
Sometimes I'll catch myself saying like 5 times in one sentence, and that is not okay.
I know. I've been replacing like.
However.
You would say, and she was like, I've been trying to stop saying that.
And you've been trying to talk like an author?
I'll say.
She hesitantly said.
No. I will say, and then she said, and I like consciously.
Oh, like how you like should talk?
Yeah. But, as bad as you think you are, Scooby, no. Yes, he loves that. As bad as you think you are, there are people out there who say like every.
I also don't.
Word.
I'm also not like.
Yeah.
Like
he was totally like.
Do people actually talk like that?
Yeah, but not like that. If I met someone who talked to me like this, I'd be like,
wait, one more story. Why did the girl at Starbucks?
Oh boy, not the Starbucks.
Why did this girl at Starbucks the other day? Why was she talking to Glenn like he was an infant? Okay, to be honest, she should have just grabbed his cheek because that's what it looked like she wanted to do. Why'd she go? Just like this. Head movement and everything. She says, and would you like a straw?
Oh no.
And she had her head out the window. Would you like a receipt?
Oh.
Yeah. I just slowly strangle him.
Well, he's got a bump. They say it's a saliva gland, but I don't know.
Saliva gland.
Okay, so anyways.
Are you going first or am I? He's just trying to get comfortable. Because he feels cramped.
Well, because he is.
Yeah, I know.
Yeah.
Okay, I have to open this though, child.
Scooby, Dooby-Doo, you have to get down.
No, because this isn't food. Why? Every time something new happens, like, you think it's food, I swear.
Yeah, he's got doggy pica.
Okay, why are you doing that?
Because he doesn't want you on your computer.
I know.
He needs you to pay attention to him.
Just, okay, here. Just chill. Okay.
Scooby.
Put your head that way.
Yeah, if you... He doesn't want me because you're new. Remember, he thinks everything that's new is food.
Okay, no. Oh, and now you're just gonna lick the screen. Like, what is enticing? I like how he is good for literally a millisecond, and you go, there you go. Okay.
I looked, but I didn't...
Who wants to go first?
Well, I went first last time.
I know.
And I felt horrible about it.
I am doing the disappearance and death of... Will you stop?
Wait.
No. What?
Go ahead.
Of Mitrice Richardson. You might when I start.
Okay.
Maybe. Hopefully you don't, because it's kind
I
of
would love it if I don't. I feel like
it's not kinda good
it
at
would
this
be like I was listening to a podcast. In real life.
Okay.
Live show.
All right. Ready? Let's get right to it.
Okay.
Okay. Disappearance and murder. Mitrice Richardson. I hope I'm saying her name right, because some of the things say like Mitrice, like said Mitrice, and some of them say you say it Mitrice.
Oh.
So I'm just gonna say Mitrice because it flows off my tongue better. Could be wrong. I don't know. I'm sorry. Okay. Ready. Mitrice was born April 30th, 1985. Why do I feel like this is so weird right now?
Probably because I'm looking at you because I don't know about
Maybe. Okay. Her mother is Lettice Sutton, and her father is Michael Richardson. Her parents met as juniors in high school. Lettice became pregnant her senior year, so young mom. It says, like, I fucking typed it. It says here, okay, she was determined to keep good grades in high school, so she moved in with her grandmother. Mitrice's mother, Lettice, moved in with her grandmother, okay. Mildred. Okay. And Mildred was Mildred was considered more like Lettice's mom than Lettice's real mom.
Okay.
Okay. When Mitrice was born, Mildred, so now Mitrice is a great-grandmother, Mildred would look after her, so Lettice and Michael could finish school, and then after they graduated, Mildred would continue to look after Mitrice so that they could continue to work. Michael worked at a fast food restaurant and decided to sell drugs on the side. Okay.
Nothing wrong with that.
Easy money, quick. He felt like he had to. Okay. Mm-hmm. Anyways, yeah, he was living paycheck to paycheck. Not what he wanted to do. Felt like he needed to for his family. Okay. So he ended up getting caught and he went to jail. And Mitrice was 4 at the time, and he was sentenced to 8 years in state prison. So in 1993, he was released, but Lettice didn't want to wait around for him while he was in prison. So she moved on and met a man named Larry Sutton, who they would end up getting married. And I wrote, it would become Mitrice's stepdad, obviously. They got married. Okay, so at this time they were leaving... At this time, they were living in Los Angeles. But in 1993 is when the LA riots were taking place. So there was growing violence and racial tension. Okay. So they decided to move to Covina, which is a suburb in LA. It gave Mitrice the chance to have a good childhood and good schooling, being away from the violence that was happening at the time in LA. So from an early age, it was very apparent that she was very smart and she excelled in school. All throughout school, she excelled. Okay, so she always had good grades, and it was said that she would get bored in school because she would always say it was too easy. So she was smart. Okay, she became a cheerleader in middle school and continued into high school, and she was always doing cheer competitions. She loved to dance and was someone people always loved being around. That's what they always say.
That's what they always say. Wouldn't it be weird if they said the opposite?
Yeah, it said her happiness was contagious. Okay. In high school, though, her interest changed, and she didn't like doing much outside. She would say that she didn't like the bugs and didn't like to get dirty. She would stay inside and do crossword puzzles, watch TV, things like that. Weird. Just didn't finish that sentence. Okay. Mitrice's mother says that she fell in love with psychology and learning about how the mind works. It was her big interest. Okay, so after high school, she went on to Cal State Fullerton, which is 20 miles south of Covina. And then rather commuting every day, Mitrice moved in with her grandmother, Mildred, who lived closer. Mitrice was the first family member to attend college, and just like in high school, I hate myself. I said she was absolutely killing it. So, great college student also.
Cringe.
So, she graduated in 2008 from Cal State Fullerton. She took a job dancing at Deborah's, which is a gay and lesbian nightclub in Long Beach. And she used the stage name Hazel and printed out her own business cards.
Now we're talking like exotic dancing.
Yeah, it keeps saying she was a go-go dancer. So I believe that she was like really. I don't think she was a stripper. She was a dancer. She was a dancer. Like I've seen pictures. She literally kind of was dressed like a go-go.
Okay.
A go-go dancer. Okay. Anyways, so.
What's the bar's name?
Deborah's.
I'll look it up later.
Okay. So her biological father, Michael, of course, didn't approve of this. You know how dads are. He just didn't want her getting into any trouble. You know, wanted to keep her safe. So, during this time, dancing, she met a girl named Vanessa, and it's just kind of like blurry because some people say they were dating, and others say Mitrice like really liked her, but Vanessa wasn't like all on board, and that Vanessa actually had a girlfriend.
Oh.
So it might have been a bit of a, we don't know, so I don't like to assume. Might have been a bit of an obsession thing.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. But what they did know, Miss Mitrice liked her a lot.
Okay.
A lot. She was actually, and also at this time, just a little side note, she was invited to a party at the Playboy Mansion.
Very cool.
Yeah.
Wow. From what I hear, it's not very cool. But.
Yeah. So about this time, friends and family could tell there was something off about her. She seemed a little bit more stressed and irritated than normal during this whole Vanessa period.
Mm-hmm.
She became withdrawn and wouldn't contact friends like she used to, and when she did when she did contact them, her messages didn't really make any sense. They were kind of like disconnected. Her Facebook and MySpace page would be filled with her thoughts and statements like at all hours of the day and night. So then, as the summer of 2009 was ending, she became really erratic and even more withdrawn. Her text messages made absolutely no sense. Like, there was no clear topic to any of them. It'd be random, just crazy shit. Her mom had texted her one time asking how she was doing, just a normal conversation, and Mitrice responded, quote, "I'm writing a book because you told me I could be anything I wanted. You told me I was Miss America. You told me I was America's Next Top Model. Now do you know what I want to be when I grow up? Miss Mother Nature, because Miss America is a fake-ass joke. So I'm trying to find my way to Michelle Obama to see if she will talk to Mr. Obama about creating my position within the White House." End quote. Look, I wrote concerning. Yeah, very concerning to her mom, okay?
Concerning to me.
Okay, so this is like, there were several, like, this is how she would text people, just, and like, this is what her Facebook page looked like and everything, okay?
Oh,
very. Okay, so now, the day. Okay, September 16th, okay, normal day of 2009. Yeah. So September 16th of 2009, it was just a normal day, as it always is. Early that morning, Mitrice's mother, received a few texts from Mitrice that made no sense, of course. According to a coworker, she had showed up to her shift that morning and was in a good mood, but when she went on her lunch break, she never returned back to work. She told no one where she was going, and then on Wednesday nights, her and her grandmother, Mildred, would always sit down and have dinner together. But on this particular night, she explained to her grandmother that she had a change of plans. She told her that the ocean was calling her name, and she needed to go to the beach. Okay, so she tells her she's going to skip dinner and is going to drive to Malibu, and she's going to drive down the Pacific Coast Highway so she can, drive down the ocean, drive right down the ocean.
Okay.
Mildred would say that she seemed normal when she was talking to her. Okay, so she left the house around 5 p.m. and headed towards Malibu, and then sometime between 4 p.m. and 5 p.m., Mitrice's Aunt Lauren, she would come home to her house, and she's seen all over the lawn and the steps to the front door were Mitrice's business cards spread all over, okay? She thought that she must have just stopped and dropped them. I put question mark, because, like, she seemed very unsure about it. Like, obviously she knew something was fucking wrong.
Right.
So no one knows why she went there. Like, the aunt does not know why she was there. But Lauren, her aunt, discovered a note that was tucked under the windshield wiper of her husband's car in Mitrice's handwriting, but made no sense. Okay, there's a smiley face wrote on the business card, along with the statement, "Hi, Uncle Johnny Jimmy." No one knows what that means. On the right-hand side of the letter was written in her handwriting, "Black women scorned." Okay. Lauren was not sure what to think. She didn't try to overthink it, but now says she knew in the pit of her stomach something was wrong, and we always know that if that's how you feel, you should check in on that. Okay. So, it's believed that Mitrice arrived in Malibu around 7 p.m. She stopped to watch the sunset and then got back in her car and continued to drive along Pacific Coast Highway. While she is driving, she comes across a restaurant called Joffrey's. Okay, this is a booze restaurant. It's a booze restaurant.
Okay.
Like, very expensive, bougie. Okay.
Joffrey's.
Yeah, Joffrey's.
Okay.
And Mitrice had never spent any time in Malibu, so she had no idea. She just seen it and wanted to go. Okay, so she decides she wants to eat there. It's valet only. So here's where this gets weird. Okay. So in the parking lot, Mitrice turned off the car, waited for the valet, but by the time he was ready to park her car, he found her seated in his vehicle. This is not clear if it was his vehicle or if it was the vehicle that he was trying to park of somebody else's. You can't really find that information. Anyways. So, found seated in his vehicle. Which was nearby with the door open. So, the valet guy was like, asked her why she was in there, and she says, quote, "It's subliminal." Okay. So, she said it's subliminal, and then she, like, muttered something about, she was trying to avenge the death of Michael Jackson.
Okay.
Okay.
Did that just shut off?
No.
Oh, I swear I heard the shutter.
Okay, so, Mitrice gave the valet her keys, and then before making her way into the restaurant, she asked, "Is Vanessa here?" As if he knew who Vanessa was, okay? She said that he needed to keep an eye out for a girl with tattooed arms. So, Mitrice appeared harmless, but to play it safe, the valet warned the hostess that she was acting pretty weird, maybe keep an eye on her. So, she sat at her table and she ordered an Ocean Breeze cocktail and a Kobe steak, okay? So, there was a table that was, like, next to her, and it was, like, a table of, like, 7 people, and they were all talking, and she became interested and just went and sat with them. Okay. She says that she was talking about, like, astrological signs, a bunch of just random shit. Okay. So, she went back to her table to eat and then went back to the table with these people, and she had said that she was going to Hawaii and that she would contact them when she arrived.
Okay.
Okay, so after that table, they were getting up to leave, Mitrice walked towards the entrance with them, like was trying to walk out with them, like not pay for her meal. And they stopped her and was like, hey, like, you need to pay. And she was like, no, this table, like, that table paid for mine. Okay. Also, her tab was $89 for the steak and the cocktail. Okay. So, yeah, she said that the other table should have covered her. The manager informed her that that was not the case. And Mitrice said, quote, I'm busted. She said, what are we going to do? As the manager spoke to her, Mitrice, I don't know if it's even important, but they said that, like, that she was, like, staring at the computer screen, like, as if she was, like, in a trance. I mean, obviously they're
scared.
So,
stories like this scare me. Where people just, like, break.
So, she... Also, it says that she told him, the guy, that, you know, the cash register guy, that she told him she was from Mars. Okay. So, anyways, they didn't know what to do. So, like, they didn't feel like they wanted to let her leave because she was acting so strange. Also, she wasn't paying her bill. Okay, so they call the police. And they just say, like, there's a guest here who is refusing to pay her bill. And the quote, she sounds really, really crazy. She may be on drugs or something. So, while the sheriffs were en route, Mitrice told the hostess that she had been watching a soap opera at work when God instructed her to take the afternoon off. She had no parents, she said, just her great-grandmother, Mildred. The hostess called Mildred, but she couldn't help. She's like 90 years old or something like that. So, she was...
Oh, right, because it's her great-grandmother.
Right, yeah. So, one of the police officers got on the phone with Mildred, and then she couldn't pay. She tried paying over the phone, but there was no... It, like, had to be, like, a fax signature, and, like, this 90-year-old didn't have a fax
2009.
machine. Yeah. She doesn't have a fax machine, you know? So, they went through her car that they had parked in valet, and it says they didn't report finding her cell phone, money, or wallet, but they did discover her driver's license along with marijuana scraps and partially finished bottles of booze. So, they said that she was, like, possibly drunk because she was making odd statements just because of what they found in the car. Okay. So...
There are ways to be sure.
Right.
I'm sure they didn't do that.
So it says the employees at Joffrey's considered paying Mitrice's bill so she could walk away with only misdemeanor ticket for the pot possession, but they concluded she wasn't safe on her own. They didn't want her operating a car, not after the way she was acting. Okay, so then Mitrice's car, she drove a Civic. It was impounded. So she was en route to the police station when Letitia's mother had called the station because Mildred had called and told her, okay? So, whoa. So she basically called to ask, like, will you be releasing her tonight? Because if not, I will just wait until the morning to come pick her up. She's like, I don't want to drive, because remember, she's in Malibu. So, I believe it's like... I
knew what kind of drive that was.
Well, I think it was, like, close to an hour.
Okay.
Also, she has a little sister that was at home. So,
okay.
The mom was like, Letice was like, if she's not being released tonight, then I'm going to save myself the drive and just come in the morning when she's being released. There's no point in me coming if she's not being released. Okay. So, she said that she's not from that area, and she didn't want her, just out there if she was acting strange. So, the deputy assured Letice multiple times that they would keep Mitrice in custody and release her in the morning. Letice was satisfied that Mitrice was safe, and she thanked the deputy and hung up the phone around 12:30 a.m. Okay? So, Letice called the station at 5:35 the next morning. When she called and spoke to the jailer, he informed her that Mitrice was no longer there and she had been released. Okay, so between 12:30 in the morning and 5:30 in the morning.
Okay.
So, they also... So now I'm just going to go off the rails a little bit, okay?
Okay.
So, keep in mind, her car was impounded. Okay, so they released her. They just released her.
Mm-hmm.
Out the door.
Yeah.
Okay. She had no car, no phone, no wallet, nothing. They just released her. And they said that the area is just, like, very, like, commercial buildings, that nothing would have been open at that time. So, yeah, she had nothing. They just released her. Okay. So, so her mom called at 5:30, and then an hour later at 6:30 in the morning, the Lost Hills police station received a call from Bill Smith.
That name sounds fake as hell.
He lives in Monte Nido, which is like in that area. This area is super like mountainous. Okay. There's like
rich, right?
It's like
we're in Malibu.
Yeah. So this is like where he lives is like just a bunch of like they're a bunch of ranchers, like, okay. And like private hiking trails, and so it says that that's 6 miles from the station. Okay. And at the bottom of a canyon, a dark canyon. Of Dark Canyon, not of a dark canyon. Of Dark Canyon. Okay. So what he says on the phone is, so he says that he like looked out his back window and he seen a woman sitting on his porch, and he like was standing, like, must have been like in a kitchen or something. Mm-hmm. And he like opened the window and said like, "Hey, like, can I, like, what are you doing? Can I help you?" And she was like, I'm just resting." So then that's when he goes like to grab his phone. That's when he calls the police station to say that there's a woman sitting on his porch. Like, she's just saying she needs, she's just resting. He doesn't really quite know what she's doing. She seems lost. And then by the time he went back to the window, she was gone. Okay. Then that's pretty much like, that's the last time she was seen. Okay. So the sheriff's department waited 2 days after Mitrice's release to conduct its first search. Okay. So, they started at Bill Smith's house, which was 6 miles from the station. Out front, they found tracks from Mitrice's sneakers.
I'll tell you what kind she was wearing. It's sneakers.
True. Oh, yeah, it does say sneakers. It says that the tracks appeared like she was running, but then they lost the pattern because there's a bunch of like shoe and hoof prints out there. So they lost the prints. It says fewer
they lost them like in the
but it says fewer than 100 feet from Dark Creek, from where she was.
Dark Creek, Dark Canyon.
Well, it's both, I think.
Oh, okay.
Like there's a canyon and a creek.
Like, come on, get it straight.
So, less than 100 feet from there, they lost the track. Okay. Okay. They found journals in her car, and they concluded that from these entries in her journal that she'd been sleep deprived for several days, and that she could be suffering from a bipolar episode the night of her arrest. That's what they concluded from these journals.
Possibly. Did they say possibly being suffering?
Yeah.
I think it's a little more of a possibility.
Yeah, so,
this is very reminiscent to last week, the story I did last week with her journals and her psychotic break, and he has the hiccups, it's okay.
Yeah. So, on January 10th, so that happened in September, so now January 10th, so a few months later, the Los Angeles Sheriff's Department finally conducted, like, a real search that the family had been wanting. And it was the most at the time, I don't know if it still is, one of the most extensive searches for a missing person ever to be carried out by the Los Angeles Sheriff's Department. Okay.
But 4 months later.
Yeah.
Okay.
So the search included 336 trained searchers scouring 18 square miles of ridges, canyons, and trails. Like, it's a very treacherous, like, they have to use, like, helicopters and stuff.
This is a Mr. Ballin story.
Yeah. Canyons and trails on horseback and on foot, aided by dogs. A helicopter picked up searchers, dispatching them to harder to reach areas. While the search turned up no evidence as to Mitrice's whereabouts, it gave Michael hope, her dad, that she was still alive, because they didn't find anything. So also in the police station there are cameras, and they'd asked forever to see the footage, but they said that, like, they weren't on, you know, like the classic thing that people always say. Mm-hmm. They're just there. That they film, that they work, but they don't record. Okay. So they're used for surveillance, pretty much. So they finally got it, okay, but not until March.
Oh my God. I'm just frustrated right now.
So there were multiple red flags that the footage brought up. For one, parts of the video were edited out. And Lettice could tell right away that her daughter was not well, and she was not acting like herself. She said that she could tell she was distressed and acting manic. Footage of Mitrice inside her cell showed her struggling and acting erratically. Lettice, her mom, says, quote, "She's grabbing at the door where she's swinging back and forth." And that she was, like, pulling in the back of her hair. So, also there's a whole, like, they filed, like, a bunch of lawsuits against them. That's a whole,
as they should have.
There's, like, a whole other, like, police things going on with the police and the parents. Like, there's, like, it's a lot, okay? No way I could put it in here. Mm-hmm. But, after they seen the footage, they filed a negligence and wrongful death lawsuit against Los Angeles County and Sheriff's Department officials, okay? That's pretty much all I included about the lawsuits, but there was a lot that happened there. Okay, so, so on August 9th, 2010, nearly 11 months after Mitrice went missing, Lettice and Michael were coming to the terms with the reality that,
He said
that their daughter was more than likely dead. Also, I didn't write in here, but there were, like, Michael, her father, claims that he's seen her in Las Vegas.
I'm
walking the, it was in a crowd of people, and he claims that he's seen her and that he called out her name. And I don't remember if it said that she acted, like, weird or if she just didn't hear. There's like a crowd of people. He lost her in the crowd. And then also one of Mitrice's, like, high school friends also claimed they seen her in Las Vegas. And that also there was, like, while this was going on, there was, like, hundreds of people who came out and said that they'd seen her in Las Vegas.
There are tons of stories where people do this. They have sort of a mental break. And they disappear, and then people claim, or they show up years later.
Yeah, but hang on, I gotta finish.
Oh no.
Well, I started this saying that it was the disappearance and death of.
Oh, I thought you said disappearance or death.
No.
Oh no, I've been living this whole time thinking you said or, and like you didn't know.
No, the disappearance and death of Mitrice.
I'm so upset. This
is
genuine.
Okay. So yeah, again. August 9, 2010, 11 months after she went missing. Around 1 p.m., park rangers were patrolling the mountainous terrain of Dark Canyon in search of... This was a big illegal marijuana growth site, like, in this area. Okay. So, like, there was always people out there, like, looking for that, okay? But anyway, so... they were in search of illegal marijuana grow operations, which were known to occur in that area. Because it was so remote.
Where was this?
In the Dark Canyon.
Oh, back to the Dark Canyon.
Yeah.
No, Dark Canyon, not the Dark Canyon.
Yeah, just Dark Canyon. Okay, so reaching these spots was not easy. There are no trails. It requires scaling steep rock faces and cutting through, like, wild growth, like undergrowth. The area they were searching was about 8 miles from Lost Hills Sheriff Station and 2 miles from Bill Smith's home where she was last seen. They were making their way through a deep ravine when they came across a human skull. The park rangers called in their finding at 1:30 p.m. Deputies arrived around 3 p.m. and needed to wait for a helicopter to take them. Like, they couldn't get to this area. Like, they had to be took with a helicopter to where she was. Okay? At 5 p.m., a 7-person team from the coroner's office arrived with the expectation that they would be required to follow the standard protocol for when a body is found. Photographing the remains, inspecting the site for clues, establishing a crime scene. However, this did not happen, and you will not be shocked to find out that the sheriff's department completely botched the handling of Mitrice's remains.
I am not surprised.
Okay, so while the detectives were airlifted to the location of the remains, the coroner's team were not, and they were waiting for their helicopter to come, and it never came. Mitrice's family were notified that the remains had been found, and that they likely belonged to Mitrice. When the family asked if they could come to the site, says the deputy was rude, saying there was no point in coming. Lettice asked how they would treat the site, or would they be treating it as a crime scene, and when they would be removing her daughter's body. The deputy told Lettice that the area would be secured and treated as a crime scene, and that the remains would be airlifted out in the morning because it was too dark to take them that evening. But instead of doing what they said they would, at 8 p.m. that evening, the deputies haphazardly gathered up the remains.
Okay.
Up the remains they could find, and put them in the helicopter and flew back to the station. They didn't look very hard, and there turned out to be many bones missing.
Bones would never.
So the coroner's office was shocked, obviously, at the actions of the sheriff's department. The coroner, quote, this is quoted from LA Times, the coroner says, that he was very clear of how the remains should be handled and could not think of another case in which a police agency had moved entire skeletal remains without a coroner's approval. So, on August 13th, the sheriff made a statement announcing that the body, which had been found in the ravine, was Mitrice Richardson. And they said at that point that there was no indication of a homicide. So, also he said that the sheriff said that they only found a skull and some bones, which was untrue, and it says, in fact, they also found a large portion of mummified remains. So,
what does that mean?
What do you mean?
What does mummified remains mean?
I think, it means that they were,
preserved?
Yeah, it hadn't, maybe she hadn't, it wasn't completely, decayed. It wasn't just bones.
To me, mummified would mean that someone did it, right? That someone tried to preserve?
Right, so that's what they're saying. That's what they're saying. That they saying that there was only skull and bones, but in fact there was mummified remains. Okay, that's what the coroner is saying. That the
I'm not saying you're wrong. I'm thinking. To me, mummified would mean that someone tried to preserve her and then later put her out.
Okay, well, keep listening.
Oh, sorry.
That's what we do here. We read. I tell you the case. Okay, so
what you have to do, Courtney has to predict the ending.
Yeah.
Stop in the middle, and she has to do the rest.
So Lettice was able to convince the sheriff to let her and a small group of close friends to go to the scene. While they were there, they set up a small memorial. While looking around, they found one of Mitrice's finger bones.
Fuck that.
Which just goes to show how careless the scene was preserved and, scoured, Okay. There's a lot of speculation about what really happened to Mitrice that night, despite them saying that there was no foul, the sheriff's office saying there was no foul play involved. One LAPD detective would actually later tell Los Angeles Magazine that it sounds like someone abducted her, killed her, and at some point dumped her body. Okay, this is what somebody from the police department said later. So her clothing was found slightly further up. Oh, she was naked. She had no clothes on. Okay.
Okay.
Her clothing was found slightly further up the ravine from the majority of her remains, and did not show signs of having been removed by animals, suggesting either she removed them herself or someone else did. There were also some bones. Wow. There were also some bones. For example, her femur bone found partway up the ravine. Mitrice's hyoid bone, which would likely have been broken if she'd been strangled, was never recovered. Mitrice's family and friends are also convinced that her death was not an accident, and some believe because some of the body was mummified, it may have been buried somewhere else, dug up, and then dumped in the ravine later.
Oh, okay. Sorry, I interrupted you on that.
It's okay. The official coroner's report called the cause of her death undetermined, and if they had been able to follow proper procedure, they may have been able to make a more solid determination. So, Lettice and Michael filed a wrongful death lawsuit against the Los Angeles Sheriff's Department, citing that Mitrice should not have been released from jail that night, as she was showing clear signs of mental instability, and they were awarded $900,000, which is split equally between them. And there's like several other lawsuits that have been made. So anyways, Bill Smith.
Last person to see her alive.
Yeah.
Do we know anything about Bill Smith?
Sounds
like Will Smith, if you ask me.
Also, this doesn't. There's no point to it in the story, but the police station that she was taken to was also the police station that Mel Gibson was taken to when he was arrested.
Wow.
Yeah, which is actually
I'm sure a lot of famous people have been in that.
Yeah, but there was he has like a pretty famous mugshot. He was like it was like a DUI or something. Mm-hmm. But anyways, that was actually because of him, that being the station that he was arrested at, it actually made the case pretty big at the time. So it was
yes, thanks to Mel Gibson, even though it didn't do a damn thing.
Yeah. So, do we think she was really seen in Vegas if her body was found?
Know. That's tough. I wasn't there.
Yeah. And one of the people being her father, saying that they seen her.
Yeah, I would find that the one that I wouldn't believe. Because you would think you'd see your missing child everywhere.
Everywhere, yeah.
But, 100 other sightings.
Right. And I'm pretty sure it was more than 100. I want to say it was 300. Don't quote me on that, though. I think that it was a lot. Oh, shit. One thing I didn't mention was in that police footage, it showed, her going out the door, the front door or whatever. But then also another officer going out, a back door or something. But, I guess he was interviewed and, there was, said there was no correlation.
Oh, he went on break?
Yeah, I don't know. I feel
they were on a break.
Here's what I think is that they fucked up from the beginning with releasing her. I think that the police involvement ends there, to me, because she was seen at Bill Smith's house alone.
Okay, Bill Smith.
According to Bill Smith.
I think she actually showed up at Will and Jada Pinkett Smith's
Shut
house.
up.
So, anyways, make sure to comment, subscribe, rate, follow. Follow. Leave a review.
All of it.
Tell me your favorite parts. Don't tell me. Tell me your favorite parts. Don't tell me what you didn't like, because I'm fragile. Okay. This is Starbucks Corner.
Okay.
I went to Starbucks at Target in Galesburg, and I said I would like a chocolate almond milk shaken espresso. And this girl said, hot or iced? And at that moment of time, I should have known she didn't know what I said. And I said, iced. And she said, okay. And then she said, we don't have almond milk. And I said, okay. So what did I get, soy milk?
Yeah.
So I got soy milk. Okay. Whatever. It's all the same. Not really, but it'll do. So she says it's mine, and I go and pick it up, and it's got sprinkles on top of it. And I'm like, what the fuck? This is not my drink. And it literally says something else on the side, but then it also says whole milk. And I'm like, oh, that's not mine, so I put it back down. She goes, oh no, it's soy, it just says whole milk. And I'm like, that's weird. Why would you?
Why would you do that?
Whatever.
Yeah.
So I get it and I'm drinking it. And it was a goddamn sugar cookie latte.
Yeah,
I
they put
kept
sprinkle
going.
on the sugar cookie.
I kept going. Chocolate almond milk shaken espresso. Sugar cookie latte. They don't even sound the same.
No, they don't.
But she kept saying, yeah, that's yours. That's yours. And I was like, that's not mine. That's not a shaken espresso.
Don't get me started on the shaken espressos. They couldn't figure
Oh,
that
I
shit
know.
out.
I think about that all the time. I got one today. It was so good.
They
best
are
I've
good.
had.
Yeah.
They are.
They were out of almond milk the other day, so I had to get it with. They were out of soy also. So I got oat milk, and oat milk is a little sweeter than soy milk.
Clinton loves oat milk.
Good.
It makes all the difference. He says he won't get the shaken espresso if they're out of. Well, he'll do almond milk sometimes, but he likes the best with oat milk.
Mm-hmm.
It makes or breaks it. He says.
For me, my almond, I don't mind the oat milk at all. I'll sub it if I have to, but there's something about the chocolate with the almond.
I would never get a chocolate drink. I don't know how you do it. Not
Well,
my favorite
this is an
at all.
espresso, so it is mostly chocolate and almond milk.
Yeah.
Sometimes I'll get an extra shot in there of the blonde roast, which is so good.
It is good.
I've also been drinking the vanilla cream cold brew. That's good too. This was great.
Which is out here.
That's it.
That's it.
Good job.
Thanks. Murder.